Hey traders, Nick Shaheen here looking at a few things. Mainly I just wanted to pass along a message. Today is the 13th November and we had markets were indicated down to open, then we rallied back to green, and then out of the blue there was a quote headline that broke out and dipped the market. So the point of this video is to completely ignore the noise that comes from the garbage like CNBC and other media. They are choreographed. Yes, it's beyond us mere mortals' reach. We don't know what they're going to say, but we know when they're going to say it. I'll give you an example. I could have the TV off today, Twitter off. In fact, I did, and I shared in the chat room that okay, it looks like we're making some progress as opposed to the overnight lows, which went down to 75, I think, to just 30, 75, and 75 cents. And that we have upside potential, but I said gut tells me that we're going to meander just below the 95. And so that was early at 7 o'clock in the morning. So my prediction was that there was going to be resistance at 95. So I basically told you when the headline was going to break out, if you were in the room with me. I didn't know there was going to be a headline, but I knew not to chase it at 95. So headline is a garbage. So what was the headline? Oh, there's difficulties in the China deal. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Of course there's difficulties in the China deal. It's been like that for 18 months, if not longer. So is that news to anyone? No. But they chose to release it at exactly the same time they did, and they have the upper hand. They know when they're going to release it. I'm surprised the SEC is not all over these guys. I can't prove it, but there's no way they don't have trading desks out there. So interestingly enough, if we look back a few days, this was the top. This was an overshoot. So somewhere up there, there are stop losses that haven't triggered yet. And that's the fuel for the next rally. And that is why we're going to bust through 3,200 if and when those triggers happen. Okay, so I've been saying this from the 300-400 points below, and I've been criticized that when I mentioned 3,000 and 3,100 and 3,200, they looked at me like I had two heads. Well, here we are, 3,100 this week, and we don't know what's coming next. But I could tell you that the point of this video is shut the news feed off and trade the level. Force yourself to look at the levels and the patterns to trade, and you make fewer mistakes. So this is let's go to 15 minutes. All right. So what can I do here? What can I see? Let me see here. All right. So by the way, that was, I wish I showed you that. That was my post of the 395. I'll try to get it later. All right. So they fell apart. They found some footing, double bottom. They bounced off of it. I don't start chasing it here because of the ledge that happened here. And it's been a pivot point for a long time. So this is not a place to start chasing. And it's a natural place to fail. And then they fell into the overnight lows of 75 that I just mentioned, and then they rallied on whatever. Somebody said something somewhere, probably, and here we are fading. So do I start shorting here? No, because this was a pivot of sorts, so it's a significant level. Usually they don't just go through it like butter. And eyeball, I bet you this is like the 50% retracement of from here to here. I'll double check it once I get out of this window here. So natural drop, headline or not. Now there are a few things that I'm looking at here. Maybe a revisit to the 60s. What? You just said you're bullish. Yeah, I'm bullish. Overall I'm bullish, but what is this? Okay, this could be some sort of an ABC that wants to aim a lot lower than here. So 61, 2-ish. I bet you there's also some sort of a neckline if lost here that would get there. We'll try to find that on a bigger time frame. But the point is, I don't need the news feed to tell me that there might be some trouble here. So I posted that 95, shared in the chat room that 95 we should I actually said, gut says we meander under 95 as we were rallying here. So I didn't chase it up here. I didn't chase it here knowing that I only have 3 points unless I'm actually trading in the futures and I just want to make, a couple of contracts on 3 points. It all depends. Not the micros, that wouldn't pay, I think. So that's the difference between listening to the news and reacting to it and knowing where the news could break out. So I wasn't a visionary by seeing the news breaking up there, but this is where I saw potential resistance. And this is potential support. Market's still open, so it remains to be seen. You can come back to me tomorrow and say it didn't hold. I didn't say it's going to hold. I say it's going to hold the dip, and then they might reattack it. And then if they break through it, that's fine. But it's not going to be butter. It's a natural place to pause. And I promised you to see if this is a Fibonacci level. I'm not a Fibonacci king, to borrow from somebody's name. Look at this. This is exactly 50%. That's the 50% right here. The 50% retracement of today's low to high is this. So, not a coincidence. These are not coincidences. They say machines are doing most of the tradings, which makes this stuff even more relevant. If machines are trading, machines are idiots. They're garbage in, garbage out. They know a level. They remember the level. They trade exactly how they're trained to trade around it. Okay, so this is just one thing that I wanted to get across. I get this argument all the time from friends that still don't believe me. They still don't believe me that it doesn't pay to listen to the news. But the headline said, who cares what the headlines say? Very few headlines are actual game changers. So unless they are game changers, I completely ignore all the headlines. So, and this headline definitely not a game changer. Somebody telling me that there might be problems in the China trade. What? Okay, so this is head and shoulder-ish. I know it's not proper, but this might have a target down here. And it's not a coincidence that these match up. So if this level doesn't hold, the second level I'd look at is this consolidation zone right here. If you want to put a line to it, probably this one right here. And then this cluster right here, which matches up with this cluster right here. So now we're changing the video from the point of don't chase and don't be shocked with headlines and don't be consumed with headlines to where could we be headed? We could be headed to the low 60s, but we do have a couple clusters of support. One around 3083, 82, one clearly about the overnight lows. And these are short-term charts. So if I wanted to get a little more clarity, I should zoom out a little bit. In fact, if you want a lot more clarity, go to the daily and you can see how we're in a breakout. Tons of lines, right? But only the last ones that matter, the white lines. I said we were coming into a point and we could be headed here. We're almost there. So, here we averted disaster. This is, let's see here, 2922. Even if we fall to 2922, it wouldn't change my overall bullish prospect on the market. This is the 1 year. Is this a year? Yeah, 1 year point of control. So of all the volume bars right here, if you redistribute them according to where they've happened, most of them happened around that number, 2922-ish. What does that mean? It means this is where buyers and sellers have traded the most in the last year. So this is important information. And then we are now above the value area. So in the past 12 months, the value area is the level, the upper limit is around 3035 eyeball. We're above it. But this is a long period of time and it includes this garbage here. So if I wanted a more pertinent time frame, I should probably zoom in a little bit and then choose how long of a trade I'm doing. So now it got distorted. But anyway, so this is the SPX version of it. Okay, one can argue that the SPX has been in the breakout from down here and it has a higher target. SPY. Okay, clear narrow look at it. There was missed opportunity. They came back and finished the job. Qs. Apple, my gosh, what? Seriously. Way exceeded my expectations in the Qs, but one can argue that they were in the breakout from down here. That was the goal. And they just are right there now. So it all depends on your time frame, but most importantly, do your homework and forget these this garbage headlines that I read. Oh my, read the ticker. Just read the ticker and write it down every day in CNBC. It's just a comedy. They put the score and then they tack onto it whatever is in the news. Like that's going to matter. All right, that's enough. Nick signing out.